Hi, Dominique. Welcome. Go ahead and as we start talking, grab your pointer, claim a row, and fill in your project title, one objective, and one possible activity that you're hoping to do in your final presentation. Do I have a volunteer who wants to go first and share their idea? Anybody? Raise your hand if you'd like to share first. Everybody's being shy. Heather, and don't forget to unmute.
Okay, so for my project, I'm actually going to be doing the practice of mindfulness. The objective, one of them, is to know how to incorporate mindfulness into your daily life. And I'm going to be doing a 5-minute guided meditation with my participants. So I'm going to be able to teach them how to kind of do their mindfulness meditation every day. They can do it when they're cooking or walking or those types of things. So it's just kind of, I'm going to teach them how to kind of gradually every day take a few minutes for themselves and focus on the now.
That's very exciting, a 5-minute guided meditation. And you know what's really cool? Okay, this is why I love this, and this is why I love this kind of programming, is because if you're somebody who is maybe a little bit more shy and would feel weird sitting in a room with other people trying meditation for the first time, this gives you so much anonymity and really lets you just sort of focus on yourself and not worry about anybody around you. So really cool. Yeah, Margaret.
So you said you could practice meditation and mindfulness while cooking. Don't you have to be sitting doing nothing?
No, mindfulness is a little bit different. It's not like yoga nidra where you need to be laying down or completely quiet. Mindfulness is more just learning about what's happening to you in the very present moment. So, because a lot of us go through our days, I think the statistic is something like 80% of the time we actually can't remember what we've been doing before because we're always so busy. So this way it just kind of teaches you to, take in your breaths. If you're cooking, acknowledge the smells, acknowledge how, the food feels, those types of things. So it's just to kind of ground you in the present.
So feel the flower. Oh,
yeah.
I love it. I think even if I'm not producing for you, I'll be coming, because I need to learn that skill.
I think it's a good one for everybody.
Well, Joanne and I always flip to see who, because we both want to go to all of them all the time.
I always try to tell my husband that me sighing is just me meditating, breathing.
It's just a deep breath, right?
Just a really deep breath. That's all that is. I'm focusing. He doesn't believe me, though. I don't know why. Okay, sorry. Heather, great topic, cool activity. So really like that a lot. Okay, who'd like to share next? Please.
Okay, my project title is Choose to Cruise as a Family. The one objective that I have is know what type of cruise suits their family best. And we will do a brainstorm activity where everybody writes on the whiteboard activities that they think they would like to do on a cruise, and I just want to open their eyes to the possibilities. So first we would do a brainstorm, and then on the next slide I would show them just the incredible array of activities that you can do on a cruise ship, and then I will also show them what cruise ship they can find those activities on.
I love it. I love how one thing connects to the next thing, connects to the next thing. So that's perfect. It really builds what you're trying to do. And I have a feeling you could use a lot of really great pictures.
Yeah.
It could be very visual, so that would be fun. Okay, awesome, wonderful. Again, I think Margaret and I said we love this topic. It's unique. It's totally different. And we see people asking for information from other military families all the time. So it's a great topic. Okay, Caitlin or Glenda, who would like to be next? Glenda, go ahead.
Hi, and my project title it's called Welcome to Montreal. It's to give essential information about Montreal to come before.
Glenda, can you speak closer to your microphone?
Okay, now?
Yeah, that's better. Just speak really loud and clear into your microphone.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my first title is about Welcome to Montreal. To give information about Montreal to families before they arrive. And I think about to do an icebreaker activity as a review after do a little introduction or after present some the things we are going to do we can do here in Montreal and I can do an icebreaker activity as a review.
Hey, I was having trouble hearing, so Margaret, can you?
So it's with reference to Montreal. So we need to really fix your microphone. I don't know how we'll do that, Glenda. You and I should have a little time maybe after this session. So what was your icebreaker activity?
An icebreaker activity about, as a review, about Montreal. It's going to be after I give all the information.
So you don't have anything specific in mind?
Right now, no.
No. Okay, so there's no specific one in mind, but it's going to be about the information that she gave, and then she's going to have maybe like a crossword puzzle perhaps you could do with that, or you could do a 2 truths and a lie with the information you've given, and then ask them to recap what was truth and what is not truth. Any other ideas of what you can do with information to make sure they've got it, Joanna?
Oh, I mean, geez, like all of those are great ideas. You know, getting away from the icebreaker activity. I mean, even just having them do a simple chat. Like, I mean, again, it can be so simple. Just putting it into a chat, or you know, having pictures on the screen and having them pointing to the one that makes sense. So many different ways. It's the topic itself just lends itself to so many different options.
Yeah, you can do 2 truths and a lie, or you can do two lies and a truth.
2 lies and 2 truths.
I love that idea too.
I like the Mythbusters one too. Somebody had suggested. Let's do that, like a Mythbuster, busting the myths around the MFRC. That was a good suggestion. All right, and Caitlin.
I haven't thought a ton about it, but my overall thinking is to do a project on self-care and compassion, where we're looking at the importance of self-care and an opportunity we're so focused on what's going on around us and so stimulated by our environment, an opportunity to kind of reflect inward and see what fills us up ourselves and how we can take care of ourselves. And learning about how to create it as a habit, because actions always speak louder than words, and we set all these intentions, and how can we make these intentions come to fruition within our daily lives. And so we'll have some tips and tricks and strategies for that as well. And one of the activities that I'm planning to do is just a group brainstorm where people can list different activities that they do for self-care. And yeah, hopefully it will inspire other people in the group to maybe start a new activity or try something different.
Yeah, so you know, one of the things I love about group brainstorming activities is I always hear something I've never heard before, or learn something I've never, you know, learned before, and I love it because it brings in so many voices to the conversation. So I think it's always a great activity. And do you think, would you want to do the group brainstorm just using like a slide in front of you where they type it in, or like what are your thoughts?
That was my plan, is to have like the first slide where the participants would claim a row similar to this, and then they'd type in things that they either have done, they've done in the past, or something that they'd like to try that would contribute to their self-care. And then we'd sort of review it, and then I'd also have a slide of a whole bunch of other activities, sort of that brainstorm after slide that is just populated in case you don't get a lot of participation, but still can generate conversation and hopefully inspire some new ideas.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. And again, Margaret, if you use your arrow pointing self-care and compassion and the practice of mindfulness and how great they go together. Margaret, add anything there?
Well, yes, I was thinking, you know, after, like we've had some students do their presentations together in a 2-hour session. Maybe it's not appropriate for this, but maybe you guys could connect at a later date and do a session together with mindfulness and self-care and compassion. And because they're so important, and it's all part of the same package of looking after yourself, right? I could really see those two going well beautifully together.
Margaret, wouldn't it be cool to do like a whole month where we have like different guest speakers come in for an entire month of programs all about that, like self-care, mindfulness, self-care, self-love, self-esteem, all topics we've had built in the past through students, which you know, if you think about it, everyone, if we're seeing it all the time, it means it must be coming up a lot, right? Like the fact that so many people pick these kinds of topics to do presentations on must mean that it's something they hear about from people a lot, wanting to know more, wanting to know how to be better at caring for themselves and for others. So that'd be cool to do like a whole month of guest speakers.
I've just written that down. We do have, and you know, wouldn't March be a great month for that, Joanna? Because we do have the kickoff, which is the International Women's Day.
Yeah.
Where we have 3 different and dynamic guest speakers coming to share about, and then wouldn't it be nice to, you know, every week have a different theme? Awesome.
And look at that, it says Petawawa MFRC is doing that in the month of February. That's one of those moments where we wish we could get everybody on board and have like national campaigns, you know, so every MFRC did the exact same like topic, you know. Anyways, that's one other story. Okay, awesome.
I'm working on it.
Let's see, where are we at?
Dominique.
Hi. I hadn't given it much thought, but I think I'd probably do something that's work-related, so the Ombudsman's office, but maybe focus on how we can help families, or whether we work on so many different topics. It could be on the BOI process, it could be on transition, it could be, but I'm thinking families, and maybe what we actually do to help families, and then activities to review the information that we learned. For example, 2 truths and a lie, or even have them put a list of things like that they perhaps see families don't know where to go when they encounter this. Well, who would they call, or could they call your office, or could we direct them in some way, just to see for myself where the holes and gaps in information are, and what kind of education pieces I would you know, put together in the future to address these gaps. So a more practical project.
No, I love that. So I like this idea of who to call if. Like doing an activity where you could maybe write on one, like take a slide, and on the left-hand slide write different scenarios or situations, and then on the right-hand side who to call, and then have them draw lines or arrows between the two, right? That's an activity that you could have them do to show you, okay, if this happens, who do I call? So that's an activity. And why I like that activity is because it gives them the opportunity to say, oh, look, I've wondered what happens in this situation. I mean, how many of us have been in part of the military and you're like, I just don't know who the right place to call is, right? Like, I just don't know who the answer is or what website to go to, or is this ombudsman or is this clerk? Is this, you know? So I think that's a really cool topic. Margaret says, who are you going to call? That's right, except for it would be Mythbusters Ombudsman Office. Does anybody else have a hard time saying ombudsman?
No, my word is Wainwright, and you can have hard with ombudsman. So Dominic, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You had a phenomenal week in Greenwood, and you do this everywhere you go, where you meet with our families and you find out what their needs are.
Yes.
Could you do that virtually?
I think we could do that virtually if it's, I think it's just a matter of understanding the software and how to get to these families. I think that could be done. I saw many times while on outreach there opportunities where I wanted to share about virtual outreach. For example, I was at the JPSU, and they're cutting costs for social workers to travel out to the neighboring communities to deal with patients that can't drive in, and they're cutting all the travel costs, so now they're feeling very helpless. And I was like, well, and whether it be for group meetings for people fighting addictions or just needing group therapy, I was like, this would be something great that social worker could use this platform to have a virtual meeting with everyone. And since they're, you know, not able to travel anymore, or you know, really severely cutting. So many times in my book this week, I was like, need to reach out and tell them about virtual outreach. So I'll be calling back some people and, you know, sending them your way, because I think this would be a really great way.
Yes, send an email to connect the two of us. That would be great. I'm happy to share any information I have. That's good.
But eventually, definitely with families, I'd like to do this. It has to be people outside the D&D D1, right? So I think I'll be able to do this with cadet units as well, and possibly rangers. So it's still a large community. There's, you know, over 50,000 cadets, for example. So even if I can do one of these a month with cadets at their nightly meetings, then, you know, I'll have been successful.
Did I tell you about the cadet live virtual that we did on deployment?
No.
A full cadet troop, 28 people, including the leaders as well as the cadets, came, and they were part of the virtual session when we had a guest speaker talk about deployment to the south of the Sudan.
Is that on? Is that a recorded session?
Not yet. It will be. He said he would record it with me. We didn't record it at the time, but the cadets were mesmerized. It was a 2-hour pictorial, and they came and they were just like, "Wow, this is what it's like to be in the military. I get it now."
Oh, we'll have to get in touch, and because I really want to use this platform. I think it has a lot of potential.
And Denise is very, very connected with the cadets as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, with our local Air Cadet Squadron.
Okay.
So cool. All
Thank
of these
you.
are such great topics. Yeah, wonderful. I shared mine. I've got one that's coming up. So I shared one. So I still am doing everything you guys are doing. So you are posted to the U.S. Now what? So the big time of year, people are getting posted on their outcams, and we like to host, just like you do a welcome to Montreal, we're going to be doing basically like a welcome to the United States, and what can you expect, and answering questions. So one of my objectives in that session is I want them to know about and how to access U.S.-based services, because the United States military and family military offer amazing services to their families. Enough that people don't ever want to come back to Canada a lot of the time. So one of the things I will be doing to introduce it is I'll be taking them to an actual website. We'll go to it together, and we'll look at My Base Guide, which is a United States website that actually has beautiful digital welcome books for families and for each of the bases. And so after we talk about that and explain the services offered, one activity I'm going to do is I'm going to have them writing on the slide the U.S.-based service that they're most excited about taking advantage of and why that is. And so reinforce, and then as they list them, I'll be talking and facilitating a discussion about what they can expect when utilizing those resources. And so that's what I'm going to be. That's one of the things I'm going to be working on actually next month.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
The Ombudsman's Office is planning on doing OutCan outreach next year, so it'd be really good to know what's available, what's not, and that kind of stuff.
That's exciting, Dominique. We'll have to partner on that. We'll touch base later about that.
Awesome. That's really great. And we'll see you in Germany then hopefully next year.
Oh, that would be nice.
Although if we really sell the virtual, that may not be possible, but we'll try.
All right, Margaret, over to you to let's get started.
Sure. Oops. So we were going to do bingo, but we're not doing bingo today. Yeah, so today we're gonna showcase a few things. We're going to showcase the breakout room. We're going to showcase the poll. We're going to give you a little bit of background, but not a whole lot. Again, when there's no session, we'll have office hours, and you can come and play and practice. And then we're going to have a 5 to 7 minute break. And then we're going to go into the icebreakers. Now, we only have 2 icebreakers, so it seems like we will be finished early today. So Denise is going to be playing a game called Tell Us. And it's a board game, and it's the very first time that Joanna and I have ever seen a board game done in the interactive virtual workshop in the meeting rooms. So we're really excited about that. And Heather is going to share Conversation Cafe, which is also a brand new one that we've never seen done before. So it's going to be a ton of fun. Danny's going to be at session 7. Dominic's going to present in the beginning of next session. So that's what's going on today. So let's look at breakout rooms. I'm going to give you an opportunity here to read this slide and give me a check when you're ready to continue, when you've finished reading the slide. What are breakout rooms? Caitlin, thank you for the check. There we go. Super. So everybody's had a chance to read it. So what do you think of a breakout room? What came to mind when you were reading this? What stood out? Denise, what stood out for you?
I like the part about building relationships and allowing for active participation. You can certainly get good, almost side conversations going in the breakout rooms. You can get more in-depth into a topic.
Absolutely. Then you can actually, if you have an introvert, they can speak, they can share. Let's just grab our pointers on the top left-hand side of the screen and just choose to me the one point that stood out for you. So Denise, it was building relationships. Did everybody go to multitask? Caitlin, tell me about multitask. Why is that of interest? Oh, Heather.
Well, I liked that you would be able to, address more specific issues with people. So if somebody came specifically to talk about, they're experiencing a deployment and they have 2 newborn babies, that's a different experience than somebody with a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old. So it might give them the opportunity to connect with other like-minded people, feel less alone, create less of that isolation feeling, and it's just more specific.
Absolutely. So when we are setting up breakout rooms, and I'm going to share a video with you in the after session email, we can either set up the groups manually or randomly. So if we set them up randomly, we may just have somebody with a brand new baby, in one group, 2 or 3 people with a brand new baby. Or we could do role playing in these groups. So we can particularly say, like the intercom session, we can particularly say who's going to go in each group and who's going to be the supervisor monitoring. So it's a great opportunity for role playing and for really having small group discussions about important points that matter and then coming back to the large group to discuss. Dominique.
I think I'm more concerned about when it comes to, I feel like I understand what the breakout room is, but in the facilitating the whole breakout room, I have concerns that I'm not, I don't know how to really do this, how to manage that as a, a third party, I guess, as an observer to something going on and managing them at the end, like the technicalities around that. So for me, that's like, because it's a concern because I really want to know how to do this.
Right.
That jumped out at me.
So those are really great points. One of the points that you're going to want to know for sure is that we very rarely will do a breakout room at the very first time anybody's joined a session. Because when you have something different like that, it creates a little bit of fear, and we don't want that. We want people to feel comfortable. That's why we waited till session 5 to do a session on breakout rooms. The other point is that it's practice. So when I first learned how to do breakout rooms, I was in class, in my synchronous learning class, and I was so excited to try, but I didn't know the first thing to do. So what I did was I went to office hours. And it was just me and the teacher in office hours, and we just went through it step by step. And so we actually demonstrated it, and so it's a question of practice. Yep. And you always want to have a producer when you're doing this type of facilitation. Absolutely. And Glenda, why did small group discussion come out to you?
Because, do you hear me there?
Yes, much better.
Okay, thank you. Because I think the participants can have the opportunity to express their thoughts as a team, I think.
Absolutely. So, you know, if somebody is not comfortable in the big group speaking out, when they're in a small group, they have to talk because there's only 2 or 3 of them in there.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wanted to share with you also, not only about breakout rooms, but about this as an activity. So here what I had you do was I had everybody read through the information. So first of all, you're not hearing me. It's not blah, 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 blah. It's getting you engaged. So just having you read the information, what a great way to engage your participants, right? And then it makes it so much easier for a facilitated discussion. So what did you think about this activity? Could you see this activity in one of your presentations?
I'm going to write that down, actually.
I don't know.
I like this. However, I think there's a lot of points. So I would put less points on this slide. I find there's a lot of information to retain. So I would put like half of the information.
Less is more. And what about some pictures too, Dominique?
Yeah.
Have 4 pictures
like there's
and
different little themes in here that you could kind of regroup. There's like the technical stuff, like don't do this on the first class and the facilitator points. And then there's other ones that are like, you know, really building relationships. And so I would change it. But that's just me because I'm that type of learner. So.
But that's your best practice. Less is more. So that's exactly pictures. Less is more. Themes. You got it. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to be sending you a short video that gives you step-by-step how to set up a breakout room. And again, we're going to have the after hours if you're interested in learning more. So the breakout rooms are really great for larger groups to separate for more in-depth discussion. You do have a few instructions. So the instructions are that you have to unmute everybody, because if you're muted when you go into the breakout room, you will not be able to talk. You have to say yes twice. Once to bring your computer body into the room, and once to bring your audio sound into the room. If you have questions, there you go. Use the cuckoo clock if you have questions. If you have questions, just raise your hand. It's always really good to give timings, and whoever has the green and blue ball will be the presenter. Now, before we go into the breakout rooms, I'm going to share my session window so I can show you how I'm going to set them up. So I'm sharing my session window on the top left-hand side, just to give you an idea. And then you can also look at the video, plus if you want to come to office hours, you'll learn more about breakout rooms. So if I was to click on breakout room, I would open the breakout panel, and then I would have manual assignment. Breakout assignment. Okay, so I could either choose automatic or manual. So I'm going to choose, I'll choose automatic. And how many sessions do I want to have? I want to have 2 sessions, and it will automatically set up. So now we see that Glenda and Heather and Joanna, oh, you got the ball, Joanna, and Denise and Dominic and Caitlin will be in group 2. Okay. And then when it's time to start the breakout sessions, which I won't do just yet, I just click on Start Breakout Sessions. So I'm going to stop the sharing. And if there's no questions, I'm going to start the breakout session. What we're going to ask you to do, the topic that we're going to ask you to do, is marketing. How will you roll out your virtual marketing program? Who do you need to convince, and how will you start? Dominique.
Sorry. I see the word on the previous slide, scribe, again, and I'm not sure if I remember exactly what that is. So you select a scribe and a spokesman. What's the scribe?
Great point. So when you're having the discussion, the scribe is the person that can write down all the information that you're talking about. So the scribe in your group will be writing marketing virtual programs and the different ideas that come up. Like you're brainstorming, somebody's writing, they're the scribe.
Okay.
The presenter is going to be the person who, when we come back to the class, will be sharing.
Okay.
That's a great question.
And have we decide this beforehand? We decide this now? We've assigned
when you're in your group.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. That's a great question. Awesome question. Yep. Any more questions? Okay, so we're going to start. And what I'm going to ask you to do is just pull up a whiteboard, and you do that by clicking on Share and then Whiteboard when you're in. We'll come in and help you. Joanna will be there as well. So we're going to start the breakout rooms. Remember to say yes twice.
Okay.
Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
One second. Glenda, Glenda was scribing, and that was her taking about time, so she didn't really get a chance to share her thoughts. So I just wanted to say, Glenda, when we get to our slide, feel free to raise your hand and add anything you would like to add during the conversation.
No, that's okay because I'll share almost the same idea. So that's
perfect.
amazing.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Wonderful. Great minds think alike. Go ahead, Dominique.
Sorry about that. Okay, so when you break us out, we break out like that in those virtual rooms. Is there any way in advance or right away to prepare the breakout room so that, like, for example, I was really missing that I didn't have the question on that whiteboard. I was like, I know there was more than one question, but I didn't know which, you know, the who do you need to convince and how will you start, and I couldn't go back.
So yes, so when you're in the breakout room, we have you loading a whiteboard just to give your information on it.
Okay.
But you can also load this actual slide. I could have loaded this actual slide into your breakout room. So when you're doing a breakout room, you'll want to load a slide that's already there. The thing with loading a slide is it takes a few extra moments. So you have to tell your participants just to be patient. We're going to load the slide for you, but you have to go into each room to load the slide.
Perfect.
Okay. But the answer is at this time, I don't believe WebEx allows you to pre-set up the sessions.
That's correct.
Okay, so you could ask your producer to type out the questions real fast then on the white slide.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great questions. Keep them coming. No apologies necessary. So right now I'm sharing my session window. If I go back into the breakout panel at the top, I'm going to ask you to share breakout session content. So now I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to send that to the people with the blue and the green ball. So I'm going to ask them to share their session content. They're going to get a pop-up, and they click on the little box, yes, and then they that will share their content. So Joanna and Denise both got a little pop-up to please share. And then you're going to see their presentation on the very top with the other tabs. You see Whiteboard 1, and you'll see another one come up in a moment. And I can change Whiteboard 1 by renaming it, by right-clicking it, and I can change it to Assist Denise's, I think, Denise's group.
It's Joanna.
Joanna's group. So I don't see yours yet,
No.
Denise. So let's try it again. I'm going to send you a request to share your breakout room. Session 2, there you go. Did you see a pop-up box come up?
I do have a pop-up box.
So you have to click the little box and then press OK.
Oh, okay. Click the little box first and then OK. I just tried to click OK and nothing happened. So there we go.
Super. There we go. Should be coming up. And again, I welcome you to come to office hours. I'm going to try it again. I don't seem to see it, Denise.
No, I didn't either. I just see Joanna's.
There we go. Now I see yours.
Okay. I'm just seeing Joanna's group.
So when we're speaking about marketing, who would like to share their responses on this? Who's the spokesperson for Joanna's group?
I am. So for us, how we were going to roll out virtual programs to our community, we thought about doing something like a Facebook campaign or something on our website, you know, announcing it. There's also Twitter. We tweet a lot from our center, and we find that it's really great. Like, for some reason, it really works really well to get out information right away, and it makes people really excited. And then we also thought about doing some live sessions to get to know the tools, so offering a couple of intro sessions for the actual program, so they can come in, kind of get to know the WebEx platform, and then from there we can start them learning actual sessions and programs, those types of things.
So those intro sessions are phenomenal, because what it does is anybody who's afraid or, oh, I can't use IT, it brings them out to say, okay, I'm going to try it. And then they get hooked. And then they say, oh, well, if I can go to the demonstration, I can go to this really cool class on language or whatever. But those intro sessions, Joanne and I give them regularly. Great idea.
Could like military families, like let's say you get really close to people in Petawawa, now you're posted in Cold Lake. Could you use this like at the MFRC so that you could still join in to the, you know, your previous postings, coffee time or Mommy and Me group? Could you use this?
Joanna, do you want to talk to the book club?
Yeah, so you absolutely can, because remember, this has no physical boundaries, right? So it's whomever you send your invitation to. And so we have, in the United States, we have a virtual book club, which is pretty popular, and it's been our longest running virtual program. It's on its second year now. And so that happens, right? You build some relationships online, and when they move back to Canada, they want to keep going with their book club. And this allows them to do that, and so they're able to join the book club and stay in the book club no matter where they're posted.
And how many people can piggyback on your license, though? Like how many, if you were to say like half of the MFRCs get this, they could possibly all connect somehow. Like families could stay connected. How many people can piggyback on you?
Well, so ultimately, I mean, I guess the number would be unlimited, but then it becomes sort of a logistical nightmare, right? Because somebody has to manage the admin of it. Now you can purchase multiple host roles, so under one license, which means that people from different locations can have their own host role and set things up and do things. But again, that's still working off of one license with, you know, only so many hours in the day. But theoretically, your question theoretically would allow you to do more.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, okay.
Dominic, you have to stop saying you're sorry. These questions are phenomenal. They're great. So Heather, I was going to say, sorry I interrupted you, Heather.
No worries. So who do we need to convince? Obviously the community members, as well as our coworkers, because some of our coworkers might not feel like this is a useful platform. And sometimes active members of our community can kind of be against us as well, so they may come to our programs and like how our programs are run and don't want to see them virtually or that type of thing because they prefer doing it in person. So sometimes we have to convince those people. And how to get around that.
Can I just add?
Yeah.
Sorry. So nope. I've had this discussion, Heather, with a number of people who have said, I like the live. My go-to answer is we are not replacing the live, sir, ma'am. We are enhancing programs so the people that can't make it to the live can get out and still get the information. So it's all about enhancing the program, not taking away or bringing one to the other.
And that's actually, it kind of falls on a good point that we actually made about how to get around that. So what we were thinking was actually running a program during one of our programs. So say, for example, I went downstairs to Coffee Connections and actually ran kind of a virtual presentation during that time so that they can kind of see me running the presentation live, and then they can also act with the people during the virtual presentation. So I would put it up on a projector.
Awesome idea. So, I love it. Yeah, that's thinking outside the box. Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Heather, and your group. All right, and Denise's group, who would like to share what's on here?
Dominique, I wonder if you'd like to share.
I can try. So we were addressing that the first step would be to sell this to our bosses or advisory committees, showing them the value for money that this represents. It would be a really good way to get started. And then we spoke about, again, delivering demonstrations regularly to just kind of, not afraid of sessions. Sorry, I don't remember exactly what we elaborated on that.
For community members who might be afraid of technology so that they could try it?
Yes.
Try a session.
Earlier. Then we spoke about knowing your audience. So to demonstrate this, to sell this, really targeting your audience's needs so that they can see that this is good for them. And then using Twitter, Facebook, social media, base papers as ways to get to different types of members or people you're trying to reach. So one person was saying members would prefer, the best way would be the splash page, where for families it's Facebook. If it was something fast, it would be Twitter. So
these are all great ways to get out this information. And you know, there's so many different ways that people learn and that people get information, so you have to really spread your wings and think outside the box. And like, I love that idea, Heather, of going to the live coffee session and giving them a demonstration. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good idea too. I don't know about you, but none of the right-hand side of my screen does not look normal. I don't see any participants anymore. I don't see anything. I only see your slide and a big gray square to the right. I don't know if something's wrong with me or...
Do you see the word participant?
I see it.
Do you see a little triangle to the left of it, or a little...
You have reappeared. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Troubleshooting. We're going to learn that in session 7. And of course, to have the answers ready to go. You guys are awesome. You had everything, you know, pretty much there. Social media, board of directors, getting people on side, using your coffee mornings community. You've got it.
Margaret, actually, we discussed something else in our group that I think is important, and it's just the terminology, virtual programming. When I say that to somebody out in the community, they look at me like I have 2 heads. What are you talking about? So what I usually say is, you're familiar with webinars, right? Oh, yes. I said, well, this is different than a webinar because it's interactive. Virtual programming gives you an opportunity to participate. You'll have a chance to discuss, ask questions, have them answered right away, whereas webinars tend to be a little more static. And then they say, okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm interested.
That's
so
very good.
Something that I've run into.
How you call it. And when I say it's, when they ask me that question right off the get-go, it's Skype on steroids.
Yeah.
And it gets them intrigued.
If you use Skype,
great point came out. And Joanna?
Okay. We're all set. Okay, so when would you use a poll? So now we're going to take a look at polls. So polls have many uses in a virtual classroom setting. You can use polls to re-engage, to set up groups, to open up a discussion topic. You can use it just to get a good laugh. Like, they don't always have to be serious. They can be fun. You can use them to see commonalities or differences in your participants, or you can use it to check understanding of a topic. Can you think of any other reason why you would add a poll to your presentation? Raise your hand if you can think why you might want to use a poll in a presentation. Denise?
I might use a poll to get information from my participants that will help me kind of tailor my discussion a little bit. I was thinking of using a poll early on in my workshop, and the poll would be, when is it that you're planning on cruising? Is it in 6 months? Is it in a year? Is it in 2 to 5 years? And that'll just help me tailor my discussion a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. One I was just thinking of that I hadn't really thought about before was we use this for advisory committees in the United States. So this might be a really great way to take votes and have record of your votes if you have a topic that you're voting on as an advisory committee or as a board meeting, et cetera. So. All right, anybody else? Glenda.
Yes, I think I can use a poll to ask people if they do understood all the presentation, to see if I did a good job for the presentation and the viewers understood everything.
Excellent. So like as an evaluation survey at the end.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, that's, no. We get used to talking over each other from time to time. It happens because we can't see each other, right?
What I didn't understand, really? No.
You don't always know what someone said. No, it's great. Yeah, and Linda, whatever you did with your mic, you sound better, like you connected better.
Yes.
I wonder if it's because she went into the breakout room and came back out. I wonder if it connected her microphone.
Hey.
No, I did connect a microphone.
Oh, you did? Okay. So it must just not have been connecting properly before. It was just, that's what I thought it was, that you were just being picked up through your computer naturally and not through your microphone.
Yes, that was. So I searched another one and I tried it.
Perfect. Awesome. Caitlin.
I thought it might be a way to invite some anonymity into the group. So if you're working with a vulnerable population and you're talking about sensitive topics, they don't have to identify themselves if you just do like a general anonymous poll, and then you can learn a bit about what people are interested in or what information they want based on the answers in the poll.
Yeah, that's a great way. So if you want just a little bit more anonymity, perfect. And there is a way, we won't get into it too much today, but there is a way you can either reveal individuals' answers or not reveal them. And so in that instance, you would want to not reveal them. So some things to know about setting up polls in WebEx is that polls can be set up in advance, they can be saved, they can be set up on the fly. Right now, we could just set one up in like a minute. And just that polls are just another great way to engage your participants every 3 to 5 minutes. So it's just another fun way to do something engaging. And the reason why we're talking about breakout rooms and polls today, even though we're not really giving you tons of chance to get in there and do it yourself, is just because we want you to see what capabilities this platform offers to you in the virtual classroom. Whether you end up using them at all or not, just knowing here's what's available to you, and it goes beyond just give me a check, give me an X, right on the whiteboard. There's a lot more functionality, so that's why we're taking the time today to do this. Okay, so next we're going to show you a video on how to set up a poll. Then you will have some hands-on time setting up a poll. We're going to have a volunteer set up a couple questions for us. So what's going to happen is down in the chat box, don't click on it yet, you need to listen first. You're going to see a link to a web page. Yes, Margaret.
I just wanted to share with people that our break is going to be at 5 after 7. I was going to say 5 after 1 instead today. But we only have 2 icebreakers, so we will probably finish a little bit early anyways.
Perfect. Thank you, Margaret. So when you click on the link in the browser, it's going to open up in a separate browser window. And the first video is going to automatically begin playing. Now, when the first one is done, Margaret, can you advance to the next slide for me? Because it's got the picture. Okay, perfect. So it's going to automatically play how to create poll. When that one is done, you need to then click on the words administer polls. Thank you. Perfect, thanks. So it's going to then start the second video of how to administer polls. So when you click on that link, it's going to open in a separate browser. It's going to auto start on its own. Give it a few seconds. If your computer is a little bit slower, it may just take a second or two to start, so give it some time. And then once the first little 2-minute video is finished, just over in the left-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see a blue navigation bar like you see on the slide here. And you're just going to click on the words administer poll. And then it's going to show you another little video of how you actually can administer the poll. Any questions before we get started?
So when we click on the link, then it's automatically going to go to create polls, and when create polls is done, we click on administer polls for the second video. Correct?
You got it. All right, so if everybody can mute themselves, and when you get back, could you please give me the green check, or the gray check, depending on what kind of computer you're on, so I know that you've finished watching the videos and we can begin again. So Denise, if you can mute yourself too, and I'll mute myself, and go ahead and click on the link that you find in your chat box. Remember, give us a green check when you're back, so I know that you're back. And just for Dominique, we're just waiting for Dominique. Hi, Dominique, is it wrapping up there? Margaret, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Dominique, if you're there, can you just give me a check or something to let me know you can hear me? Because we're gonna have to move on.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. All right, so you've seen how to set up and save a poll from the video. Give me a smiley face if you like that little tutorial video. I learned so much from watching little tutorials like that. I love them. They're so helpful to me. They're really well produced. And those are all free of use on the WebEx website if you want to go and get those nice little, demos. So wonderful. So now that you've seen how to set up and save a poll from the video, it's hands-on time. And I'm going to try to walk, we'll see if we can get two in through the steps of setting up two different kinds of poll questions. And so two of you will have the opportunity to set up and then initiate your own poll. So I'm going to be passing the ball to one of you, and then I will walk you through the entire poll process, starting with describing how to share your session window so everyone can see what you're doing. Then, after you have set up and delivered the poll and reviewed the answers, I will ask you to pass the ball on to another participant, and we'll see if we can do this. We'll have you walk them through step by step how to share their session window and deliver the poll. We'll really give you a chance to test out your skills of describing and teaching. So let's get started. Who's going to be our brave first volunteer? Raise your hand if you would like to set up the first poll and then help walk someone else through it. And I'll go and I'll be helping you. Glenda, wonderful.
Yes,
all right.
but if I made a mistake, I will have help.
Of course, I'm right here with you. We are doing this together. So I'm going to pass you the ball. Remember, everybody, to pass the ball, we just left click, drag and drop it next to the person's name, and then say, yes, I want to change presenter to Glenda. So excellent. Okay, so Glenda, the first thing I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you share your session window so that you can, everyone can see what we're doing. So go up to the upper left-hand corner of your screen. You got it. Click on Share, and then click on My Session Window. Okay, so now we're going to open up the polling panel. So over on the right-hand side of the screen, I see chat, I see Q&A. Above your participant panel, so go over to the right, far to the right, where our participant panel is. Nope, go to the far right of the screen. Way over there. There you go. And now you see where at the very top of your participant panel it says Participants, Chat, and Q&A. Can you click on the little drop-down arrow to the right of that? And click on the word polling. There it is. Awesome. So what this has done now is it's closed her other panels and it's opened up a polling questions panel. Now it looks a little different because again they've made some little changes, but it all functions pretty much the same. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add a new poll question. So down there at the bottom of the polling panel, you can see it says the word question. So go even a little bit further down. And this gives us some options. What kind of question? So it says type right now is chosen as multiple choice. And then it says, do you want people to be able to answer with only a single response or do you want people to be able to answer with multiple answers? So what's the difference there? So that means they can either only choose one of the answers, that's the single answer, or maybe you've asked them a question where they might have multiple answers. Then you select multiple answers because that means they could click several boxes, so they would have several choices. For this first question, we're going to just do single answer. So go ahead and click on single answer. And let's make it nice and simple for our very first poll question. Go ahead and click on new, just you got it. And our first poll question is going to be, what is your favorite type of ice cream? Great. And we've selected that it's multiple choice with single answer. So now we're going to add the answer below there. So see under answer, you have the word add. Go ahead and click it once. And our first one's going to be chocolate. And then click add again. And we're going to say vanilla.
There's so much joy in the thought of ice cream at this time of year.
Yeah. Let's get a little crazy and let's do mint chocolate chip. Perfect. And one more because you are all Canadian. Moose tracks will be.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how to write that.
M-O-O-S-E. Tracks. Tracks is T-R-A-C-K-S. There we go.
C-K-S.
There you go. No, that's fine. And then just hit enter, and that's gonna there you go. Okay. So now that's one type of poll question. Well, now we're going to try a different poll question. So go back up to question, and instead of multiple choice, this time click on short answer. Okay. So under multiple choice, you got the option, yep, short answer. And so that only gives you one kind of answer, right? You can do single answer. So now we're going to add the answer box. So so click on new, thank you. And so this is a question, Glenda, where we want them to write a couple of sentences in response.
Okay.
So can you think of something? You're going to be doing Welcome to Montreal. Let's think of what kind of open short answer question we could give them. How about something like, what would you most like to see when visiting Montreal?
What would you like the most to see?
Yep, that's fine. Like to see the most, that's fine.
To see the most, sorry.
That's okay. You can just say, what would you like to see?
Sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
Okay.
You're, as somebody who is only one language, you do amazing. There you go. And now just hit enter. There you go. And now they're going to have, you don't have to add an answer because it's automatically made the box there, and it's only one kind of answer. They're gonna have to type it in. Now, you see down in the lower left-hand corner below answer, there's a little checkbox that says record individual responses. Can you check that box? So if you leave that box unchecked, what happens is that we won't be able to see who wrote what answer, but by selecting the box, we'll be able to see who selected which option. Okay, so we've made our two questions, two different kinds, and now we're going to open the poll for everyone to do. So go ahead and click on open poll. And now everyone, except for you, Glenda, you won't get the poll because you're the one who created it, has seen a little polling pop-up box come open. So everybody go ahead and take your poll. And you'll notice that in Glenda's screen, you can see that as people fill out, it gives us our polling status so we can see. Thank you. Yep. You can see who started or how many have started, how many are going, etc.
Okay, the time limit,
so
it's automatic.
Yep, it automatically gives you a 5-minute time limit. You can change that if you want to. But as soon as you close the poll, so you can watch as the presenter, as soon as everyone's finished, you just close the poll yourself. You don't have to wait for it to finish. So what would I like to see most in Montreal? There we go. So now that you can see that 5 of 5 have finished, you can go ahead and click on the words close poll, which is in the lower right-hand corner.
Okay, that's me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I close?
Yep, go ahead and hit close poll, so now people can't do it anymore. So now I want you to see right there at the bottom, it says share with attendees, and there's 2 boxes you can check, poll results and individual results. Go ahead and click on both of those boxes.
The both.
And click apply. And now everyone is going to see the responses, and this is how you can see who responded which way. So cool, let's see here. We've got no chocolate,
no.
20% vanilla, 40% mint chocolate chips, and 40% moose track. So it's a tie for mint chocolate chips and moose track. We are an exciting bunch. That's why we like those more.
The host was allowed to. The host is not allowed to partake. But if the host was allowed to partake, you would have a chocolate.
Chocolate.
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. And then now, if you scroll down for us on the right-hand side of your screen, if you could scroll down so that we can see what the answers to question 2 are. Cool, look at these answers. The outdoor market once it gets warm, taking a food tour, shopping district, Olympic Park, the best restaurants, and then no answer. Awesome, and then you can see at the bottom there that you can see who wrote which as well. Now, why this might be helpful is, what if you're trying to find ways to get specific information to each of your participants? This would tell you, I need to send Joanna and Caitlin information about food. And, and I can send her all the things that I've got about the best restaurants in town. Or Heather, you know, you could send her information about places to explore in the market or the times when it's open throughout the year. So you get the idea. It's a great tool to just get lots of information. All right, so Glenda, if you want to go up to the top and get your drop-down toolbar, so go all the way up to the very, very top. Get your drop-down, there you go, click on Stop Sharing. Perfect. And
yay.
I'm going to close out the polling box here. And all right, so I think because of just time, we want to make sure that we have plenty of time to do our icebreakers today. We'll stick with just one person doing the poll today, but give me a smiley face if you liked the poll option and just sort of the different flexibility that it offers. And then raise your hand if you have any questions or comments about polling, what you think about it. Anybody have anything that they thought as they were doing it?
And don't forget, there'll be office hours on the sessions where we don't have class if you wanted to come to learn more about polls and breakout rooms.
Cool. Okay. So much easier than it looked on the video. It is, once you get to do it yourself, it really is. It's not too hard. You just sort of follow the directions, right? Okay, well, guess what? It's break time. So we want to give you your full break. So if everybody wants to put up your coffee mugs, mute yourselves, and go have a nice 5-minute break, and we'll see you back here in about 21 minutes. Probably we're already into the minutes, so 22 minutes after the hour, we'll see you back here,
right.
Okay?
I keep the ball?
Oh, Margaret can take it back from you.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Glenda.
You're welcome.
And we'll let you guys out for early if we get done early, so that will, in place of the 7-minute break, we'll make sure.
Yes, it should be early an early finish today by a few moments anyways. So I'll share my web browser so you can see the time. I didn't do 7, I did 6, Dominique. Sorry, Dominic, on the time. So, Joanna, you get to produce.
Awesome.
I love this one. It's so colorful.
All right. This is fun. Is everybody back? I want googly eye faces this time. I want this guy because I like his googly eyes. When you're back.
Oh, you still like this guy.
I like him too, but this new guy with the googly eyes makes me happy. I don't know why. I just
I like the one with the sideways smile.
So like a little half smile.
Yeah, I don't know what he...
Looks sort of cocky, huh?
Yeah. Or he's saying,
And Dominic, I see your coffee mug's down, but are you actually back? Margaret, do we want to wait for Dominic and Caitlin?
No, we'll get started.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dominic. Okay. So, icebreaker, fun time. We love these. So we're going to hand it over
to Denise.
Denise.
Excellent. Thanks very much. So, yeah. Now we're going to play a game to get to know each other better. Board games are more popular than ever, so I've created an icebreaker called Tell Us that is laid out and played like a traditional board game. My skills on PowerPoint are somewhat limited, so it's not a really fancy board, but it is something slightly different than we've had before. So give me a check if you've brought dice with you today. I sent out an email, I think, on Friday asking you to bring dice. Okay, Glenda has dice. Excellent. And Heather has dice. And don't worry if you don't, because I have a pair in front of me and I can roll for you. So we'll take it in turns to roll both dice and move along the board. If you land on a question, you'll answer it. If you land on a solid color, you'll have a chance to rest.
Oh, good, all this work.
So let's begin now. Will you all please put your pointer, which is the gray arrow, you'll find it at the top left-hand side of your screen, on the start square in the top left-hand of the game board. Excellent. It's kind of a squishy, not a very big square. Great. So you can see that our producer has written the order of play on the board. So, Margaret, will you please go first?
Yes, can you roll for me, please?
Yes, I'll roll for you, and then you'll move, coming down, following the arrow, so down on the left-hand side of the game board. So, here we go. I'm shaking. My Vegas shake here. And we
Wait
have
a second. Let me blow on them first. All right, we're good.
5 and a 4. So, Margaret, will you please move 9 squares?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, you're going the wrong way.
6.
We're going down.
Follow
the arrow down on the left-hand side.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is your favorite kind of pizza? Oh, with cauliflower crust and all kinds of vegetables.
Really? I've never tried that. Do you make it yourself, Margaret?
Yes.
Wow, you'll have to share your recipe.
Well, it's on the internet.
Very cool. I'd like to try it. I'm not sure if the guys in my house would like to try it, though.
No, Paul won't even try it.
Now, does the crust get nice and crispy?
It does, because there's eggs and cheese in it. The cheese makes it kind of golden-ish.
Okay, so is it a Parmesan cheese?
I use a little bit of cheddar, white cheddar.
Oh, very good.
But you could really use Parmesan if you'd like.
Well, that sounds delicious. I do like a good veggie pizza, and I'd like to try a veggie crust. Excellent. Dominique, you're up next.
Could you roll for me, please?
Yes, I will roll, and I'll blow on them for you.
Thanks.
Okay. Hey, you got, I guess, a pair of deuces. You have 2 2s, so would you please move 4 down the left-hand side of the board?
Oh, you get to rest.
Sorry. I was born in a place called Kirkland Lake, Ontario, up north.
Oh, my goodness, you're from Ontario, and that's quite northerly, isn't it? North from the Trans-Canada?
I think so. It's northerly. It's an 8-hour drive, but I'm actually from a small, that's the only town that had a hospital, but I'm from a small town called Virginia Town. It's a kind of blink your eyes and you drive by. There's about 1,000 people there. Yeah.
Right.
It's a really small place, and it's on the border of the Hudson Bay frontier and Quebec. So Quebec is still a border in that area. So
I have a question.
Northern town, never want to go back.
Margaret, did you have a question?
I did. I was wondering if you've taken your very handsome boyfriend there.
Not yet, but my father still lives in that area, and he's dying for us to come visit.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Nice, excellent. So, Glenda, you're next, and you have dice. Would you please roll?
Yes. Okay. 2. On 2. Okay. How many siblings do I have? I have 3 brothers.
3 brothers. So you're the only girl. My.
Yes. Yes.
And are you the oldest?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. So 3 little brothers to take care of.
Not exactly, because they are spared in all America. I have a brother in Chile. I have 2 other brothers in Colombia, and I am here, so.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, Heather, you're up next.
Okay, so just bear with me. My cat's trying to help, so. Okay, 4 and a 3. So 7. Okay, so something that I have that is a sentimental value. I actually have my grandmother's teapot, and that means a lot to me. So.
Oh, neat. What does it look like?
It's a really old-fashioned old brown Betty, but it's an original one from England, and it just means the world to me.
And do you use it?
I do. It's there to be used. It's meant to be used. It's all kind of like the enamel's cracking and everything else, but it's perfect.
Nice.
It's seasoned.
Must bring back memories.
It does.
Thank you for sharing. Caitlin, you're up next.
Can you roll for me, please?
Yes, I would love to.
Thank you.
And you have a 4 and a 1, so will you please move 5? All rolling different numbers. This is great. And you get to rest. You're purple. Okay, so we're back to Margaret. I'll roll for Margaret.
Hey, don't forget to blow on them.
Yes. Okay, 2 and a 3, so move 5 more.
Okay, where am I there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I get to rest.
Excellent. So you're on blue. Dominique, your turn again.
If you could please roll for me.
3.
Something that I have of sentimental value. I suppose my pictures of my children are sentimental value, but I'm not super attached to things, I guess. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this one. So I say pictures. Pictures mean a lot to me. I accidentally deleted, well, I didn't delete, a friend of mine deleted playing on our computer like the first 2 years of my son's life.
Oh my God.
I was devastated. And I was like, wow, when it's really important to print pictures because they're not really safe on the computer.
You're right. That's a project I need to get at. We have so many different computers and laptops and iPads and phones that we have our photos on, and we need to start printing them.
I have
at least backing them up.
Yes. So important. Glenda.
Okay.
Would you like to roll, please?
Yes. 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my God. I think my favorite kind of pizza, it's one who has cheese. If the pizza has cheese, that's everything to me. So, yeah, that's my favorite thing in the world. Fromage, cheese. Sorry.
Excellent. All right, Heather.
Okay, so 4. So what is my dream job? I'm actually doing it, working with the military community, so I'm pretty sure I'm living the dream right now.
Oh, so nice to hear.
Oh,
Caitlin.
that's not everybody's response. I love it, Heather.
Yeah.
Can you roll for me, please?
Yes, you got 6. 2 3s, a pair of 3s.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, what is my dream job? Oh, I don't know if I'm necessarily doing my dream job, but I think it would be a lot of fun to be a philanthropist. Like if you ever won the lottery or something, and your job was to, start a charitable organization or be able to give money away to different causes and travel around the world. I think that would be fantastic.
I agree. That would be.
Wouldn't it be fun to see a story and then to anonymously give them, here, this is for this person. Cool.
Yeah. What would be your charity? Like, what would be the charity or the cause you'd like to help most?
My heart kind of goes to seniors and advocating for seniors. I did some work with the Alzheimer's Society, and there's not a lot of hype about programs for seniors. They don't get as much attention, so that would be one I'd want to focus on.
That's good.
You are absolutely right.
Margaret, I wonder if you can make it home on this next roll. Let's give it a go.
And then this will have to be our last one.
Yes, and you got 7, so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Woohoo!
Back to the start. Excellent. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed playing, and it was a fun little icebreaker to design.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I love this.
Yeah.
It's so unique. It's so amazing. It's so informative of our other participants. We get to know each other. I actually think you probably don't need the blank spaces would be my only comment, just because what if somebody kept getting the blank spaces and we never really think about this? Or maybe just have like one, or maybe like have it be like a free pass or something different, but something where they do have to still talk. But other than that, this is so unique. I love this. I think this has become one of my newest favorites. Like, it's really such a cool, visually, interactively, just fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah,
round of applause.
Thank you. That was the thought behind the colored spaces. I'm not really technically advanced, so how do I add pictures to the squares to kind of add some more visual interest? So I thought, well, I'll make a couple of them colored. And that way
it was great. It's really cool.
Visually appealing.
If you're doing it on cruises, you can have questions like, which cruise line do you think you'd like to pick? Or what activity would you like to do? Or what type of food are you hoping to have? Or, those kind of things. It could be very theme topic. I love it. It's great.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this activity? Look at all the standing ovations you're getting.
No,
I like the colored square, but I think if you land on one of them, you get to pick the question you want.
That's great.
That's a good one.
This game was really fun.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? All right. Somewhere too, but just before we go, Denise, if you can somehow add an email address somewhere or your logo, just so that we know who it is, that would be helpful too. But awesome job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to have a little conversation cafe.
Heather, I get to be your Vanna White today.
Okay, that works. So welcome to the Conversation Cafe, everyone. This is my virtual icebreaker. It's a lot of fun, really casual, and really easy to follow. It's probably going to take us about 10 to 15 minutes, so we'll just go ahead and jump right in. So if you could please raise your hand to volunteer to read what is on our menu for today. Caitlin, you want to go ahead? It's on the left-hand side of the screen.
Great. Please place your pointers to a section on the plate to claim your spot at our table. Yeah?
Yep, keep on going.
Use the text tool and please remember to pick a bright color. Tell us. Number 1, who would you like to invite to dinner? It can be anyone from the past or present. What dish would you serve? And where would you host your dinner party? It must be a favorite location from your current community.
Perfect. So thanks, Caitlin. So if we can all go ahead and we'll place our pointers and we'll go ahead and text our answers. And I'll give you a couple minutes to complete. And if you can, when you're done, just give me a happy face. Everybody, please remember to click away when you're done with your answers so we can see them.
Joanna, you and I are very similar. And Linda, do you mean Justin Trudeau or Joe Trudeau?
Justin Trudeau.
Margaret?
Yeah.
Did you see on the emoticon toolbar that they put new go slower, go faster? It's sort of funny.
Looks like they're
running or walking.
When you're done, if you can just give me a happy face.
Sorry.
Oprah. Oh, wow. Brené Brown. I'm interested to hear about that one, Caitlin.
I think you will be, Margaret. You have to follow her on Facebook.
What is her story?
She's a researcher, originally started to do research in shame. She has a really viral TED Talk. It's called The Power of Vulnerability. And she's wrote some absolutely wonderful books. And yeah, I'd love to have dinner with her.
Fascinating.
Green, how do you spell her last name? I can't see with the blue.
Oh, Brown, B-R-O-W-N.
Thank you. I've written her down.
Look her up on Facebook. She's very inspirational.
Okay, so if everybody is ready to go, there's some really great answers here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call on each participant to share them with us. So what I'm going to get you to do is ask each one of you to elaborate with just a few words on one of your points and why you chose an answer. So I will start with Glenda.
Hi.
Hi.
So I would invite Justin Trudeau and family, but if he came without the family, that's okay for me too. No, I would like to know. Not for me. It's important because he has this thing about immigration, about diversity, and I would like to know a little bit more why he's so I don't know, insistent with this kind of word. I don't know how to say it.
He's
I don't
passionate.
find the word. Yes, yes. I would like to know why. I would like to invite him a Venezuelan dish, and I would like to meet him at the Boucherville Park. That it's a beautiful park near from my house. So That's it.
What dish would you serve, Venezuelan dish?
There's one that's called arepas. It's kind of a hot sandwich, but the sandwich is made of I don't know how to say I don't know the words. I have the language barrier, so I don't know how to explain it.
It sounds good.
Yes,
Sounds good.
it's absolutely delicious.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Glenda.
Thank you.
Denise.
Yeah, well, the point that I'd like to explain is, I hope everyone knows, it's Ellen DeGeneres. And poutine, I love introducing people from outside of Canada to poutine because they think the idea is absolutely outrageous and sounds disgusting, but then when they eat it, everybody loves it.
Absolutely. It's like my favorite dish too, so I love it.
I can't get past it. I've never tried it, but you'd have to invite me too.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh, my word.
Got to get on that, Margaret. It's good. It's good. All right, and Dominique?
Me, it's Oprah. I know, a little bit, maybe a little bit strange, but I watched her since I was a kid, and I used to kind of fantasize that she was my mom, so. French stew and baguette, because that's like, this is all comfort stuff to me. It's like a really simple, you make this French stew with like leftovers from a roast, and it's just like potatoes, onions, like really simple stuff, but it's delicious with a piece of buttered baguette. And there's a really nice park here in Ottawa close to the elementary school I went to that has beautiful fountains, and it's on the side of the water, and I'd like it to be there.
Nice. The French stew sounds amazing. It sounds so good.
Thank you.
And Caitlin?
So yeah, I would invite Brene Brown, and my favorite kind of food is Italian food. So I'd want to do some homemade pasta and a salad with some wine, and of course, lots of dessert. And I would want to host, there's a really beautiful garden just outside of Victoria called Bouchard Gardens, and it's just completely stunning on an inlet by the ocean, and lots of different types of flowers and things. So I thought that would be a good place to have a dinner.
I was there 19 years ago. It was beautiful, that garden. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Is that where the castle is, or like the house?
No, it's not by the castle.
Okay.
That's a different. That would also be a fantastic setting.
Yeah, it's beautiful there, though.
Mhm.
And Margaret.
So Joanne and I are so similar in many ways. So I would ask my dad, but I'd also ask Mom because I know she'd love to see my dad. And if Dad's coming, Mom's definitely has to come because Dad died 4 years ago. Sunday roast, because that brings me back to Sunday dinners where we'd have up to 20, because I'm one of 8 kids, so we'd have up to 20, sometimes 24 people around the dining room table at one table. And we'd always have a Sunday roast, and there was always prizes as well, door prizes or fun prizes for knowing stuff. So prizes would be there. And if it wasn't my living room, then it would be a local castle.
Nice. You have a lot of local castles around you? I love how you say your local castle, like it's nothing. Like just down the street is a castle.
It's true. There are. Every community, probably every 20 miles, there's a castle. And there's one that's right beside us that was used during World War II for Canadians to rest. And it's called, and I can't remember the name of it right now, it's called Schloss Moyland. Schloss is castle in Germany. And so yeah, it is a beautiful place. It has a moat, and we climbed up the spirit with the big tall part. And it's just out of a fairy tale. So yes. It sounds funny, fantastic. I guess I just dropped that. I didn't mean to, sorry.
Yeah, no, it was just so funny how you said your local castle. I'm like, wow, it must be nice to have like castles just down the street.
Well, there's so much history here, right? So nothing is like 100 years old. Everything is 600 years old or more.
Which is fantastic. I don't think we realize that when we're here, how young Canada is compared to the rest of the world.
Exactly.
Joanna.
I would have my father. He's been gone for almost 17 years, and I miss him all the time. I would serve him pie and Pepsi because he liked both a lot. And I like pie a lot. I'm not as big a Pepsi drinker, but you know, I would probably join him. And I would do it in my house because I wouldn't want any distractions from being able to talk to him a little bit longer.
Aw. What is your favorite kind of pie?
My favorite kind of pie? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I would say it's evenly split between pecan and pumpkin.
Sounds so good. Now I want pecan pie or pumpkin.
I love pecan pie.
Is it chocolate pecan or just regular pecan?
I've never had chocolate. That sounds interesting. That sounds very sweet. So just regular, I guess, for me.
Nice. I love the Pepsi too. I love pie and Pepsi. It just sounds like so homey. So last is me. So I would invite David Bowie to my dinner party because he's kind of the opposite of me. I tend to be more quiet and kind of introverted, and I just love thinking about the rock star lifestyle, and I think it would make for one heck of a party. I would serve pierogies. I come from a Polish family, and it's kind of like our comfort food. And I would actually have it here in Kingston. I don't know if any of you have visited Fort Henry before, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and there's haunting stories, and it's just a really, really neat place to be. It has some fantastic history, and I just love it there. It's weird, but it kind of feels like home. I don't know why. So it's an interesting place in Kingston.
Do you make pierogies?
His mom dated David Bowie.
What?
Yeah, in the 60s or 70s, she dated David Bowie.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
She was a party girl. She was
Yes, I heard that. Yes, Justin Trudeau's mom. Yeah. So
do you make your own pierogies?
I do. It's an all-day process.
How do you do that? It's an all-day process.
It is an all-day process. It is one of those things where it's on top of the stove and your back hurts by the end of the day, but it's worth it. So.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, well, that's my icebreaker, everyone. I hope that you've learned a little bit more about each other, and I hope that you had fun. And thanks for participating in the Conversation Cafe with me.
Thank you. Awesome. Any questions or comments for Heather?
I loved it. It was fun. We got to know about each other. We got to, and you get to know each other on sort of different levels, what they like to eat, where they like to go, and who somebody they really want to talk to is. So you sort of get to know quite a bit of information in just a really short period of time.
And you learn about local celebrities like Breen Brown.
Yes, that's good.
What I really like about this presentation, Heather, is the picture that you chose.
Well, thank you.
It's really easy to just share something there, and you can actually see I could actually see myself at a dinner table with this cutlery and this plate, you know.
Yeah, it's very it was a simple picture. That's what I really liked about it.
And I liked how you got somebody from the audience engaged right off the get-go by having them read the question. So it wasn't your voice, it was a brand new voice.
Very good idea.
Anything else, guys? Any other comments or thoughts? Wow. I just love this. Thank you so much. It was a great opportunity to get to know each other better. We're going to have another icebreaker next week and the final session as well. So it's all about connecting with one another. I love it.
All right, so final assignment. It's time to really start thinking about it. I know it's hard to believe, but it's almost here. So what you need to include. So remember, you need some sort of tool review. We want to assume that people who are joining have never done this before. Now, you can choose. You can either just do an isolated tool review at the very beginning where it's just 5 to 10 minutes of you introducing the tools, or you can build tool review into your presentation as you go along. So think about that. How would you do that? Well, you start off with an icebreaker, and people have to use their pointer tool and their text tool. So you would just build it in. So you're going to be using the pointer tool. The pointer tool is located in the whiteboard toolbar, which is up in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And so you just build that into the icebreaker itself, or you build it into the brainstorming activity, so you get the idea. You can do one of two ways, your choice. Icebreaker. Again, you can either do the one that you have created, or you can borrow somebody else's, and you can either do it that's just a pure get-to-know-you kind of icebreaker, or you can tailor your icebreaker specifically to your topic. So again, if it was the game, the board game that we played earlier, and she was doing that was more personal based. But if she wanted to do it based on where people want to go on cruises, what types of cruises would you like to see, what kind of activities would you like to have, you could make it theme specific. So you choose with the tool review and the icebreaker if you want them isolated or if you want them specific to your topic. Then come up with 25 to 30 to 40 minutes of information. And why I say 25 to 40 is because depending on how you build your tool review in and your icebreaker in, you might be actually getting information out during those as well. And then the evaluation link for your presentation will be provided by us, so it'll be done the same way where when they close out, it's going to automatically bring up the survey for them. And then just remember to do a bit of questions and comments time at the end for the wrap-up. So some things to consider as you start to develop your script and your PowerPoint. Make sure you're building in some sort of collaborative activity every 3 to 5 minutes, even if it's just a simple yes or no question with the check or the X. Something should be happening every 3 to 5 minutes. Script it out for 1 page of scripting to each slide that you have. And you can start picking practice dates. I think someone already picked one. So start picking your practice date now and a final presentation date with Margaret so that we can start booking those and figuring out who's going to be producing with you and getting you your invitations.
Actually, the final presentation date we don't have to pick yet. We just have to pick the practice. We can pick the final presentation date during the practice.
Okay, or if you have a date in mind, you can ask Margaret ahead of time.
Exactly.
Okay, so and then once that happens, you can start marketing your presentation. But until you get that final presentation date, you won't be able to market. So as soon as that happens, you'll get your invite to start that. Any questions or comments? All right, Margaret.
Okay, so next week, session 6, Joanna is going to be away. In a secret location we can't say in case her husband is listening. So we have the pleasure of having Tammy come and co-present with us, and you're really going to love her. She's a previous student, and she is full of information, and I'm really looking forward to having her join us. And all things sharing, so that's about how to share the website, how to share desktop, how to share resources, how to share information, videos. It's all about sharing. Then the following week is troubleshooting, session 7. And that's our last full 2-hour class. And then we'll have practices from after session 7 right through to March 17th. So if you can mark them, that would be great. We already have Heather and Jessica and Denise's done, so that's great. And then graduation is 1 hour only, and it is on March 22nd. And it's really a celebration. We bring a potluck, we laugh, we share about, you bring your ideas of how we can make this course better, and how it's not the end, it's just the beginning, because then we're going to start networking and connecting with the other 58 or 60 people who have taken the course so that you can share presentations and give and goes and all kinds of great information and ideas and resources. And sometimes even licenses. So who knows what's around the corner, right? So if Danny, Dominic, and Glenda, and Caitlin, if you guys can get me your practice days, that would be awesome. Then I can put them in there. And then Joanna and I will figure out, based on the days and times, who's going to be producing for whom. So if you have an afternoon session, I would imagine Joanna will be your producer, only because that makes it late for me here. So once we get all the practices in, then you'll know who's producing for whom. Any questions? Awesome. Sorry. I usually turn that off for my class, but I forgot today. It's been a pleasure. I just really love the connection of this particular class. Every class has their own personality, and I just it's a joy for me to come into this class with your positive ambiance. I can really feel the joy from each one of you. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Great class today, great icebreakers, and we still have 2 more to go, so looking forward to those from Dominique and Danielle as well, so wonderful. All right, I will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good week. Thanks everybody.